There are stories that don't just scare you, they stay with you. Long after the screen goes dark, long after you turn off the lights. Stories that whisper inside your head when you're trying to sleep. Tonight, I'm going to tell you 3 true horror stories that people swear actually happened to them. Stories they wish they could forget. But once you hear them, you'll understand why they can't. Ready? Because after this, you won't be sleeping easily. It started with a picture, a simple picture. A man named Kevin, 27, from Ohio, was cleaning his phone storage late at night. Nothing unusual, just deleting screenshots, memes, old notes, until he found a photo he didn't remember taking. It was a picture of his bedroom, taken from the foot of his bed while he was asleep at 3:17 a.m. He checked the metadata twice. There was no mistake. The picture was taken from inside his room, inside his house, while he was asleep. And he lived alone. For a moment, he thought, maybe he bumped his phone? Maybe the cat stepped on it. But then he noticed something. In the very bottom corner of the frame, barely visible, was the edge of a hand. A human hand. Long fingers, almost gray. And it wasn't his. Kevin felt sick. He locked every door and window. He checked the house twice. Nothing. By the time he calmed down, the sun was rising. He convinced himself it was some kind of glitch until the next night. At around 3 a.m., Kevin was awakened by the feeling that someone was standing right next to his bed. He didn't move, didn't breathe. He just listened. And that's when he heard it. Breathing. Not his, not light, not soft, but heavy, wet, shaking. Like someone struggling to inhale through a broken throat. And it was inches from his ear. He froze. Minutes passed, or maybe seconds. He couldn't tell. And then, right when he thought it stopped, his phone clicked. A photo, taken again, right beside his bed. Kevin waited until sunrise before he worked up the courage to check his phone. This time, there were 3 new photos, all taken between 3 and 3:18 a.m. The first was a blurry shot of his bedsheet. The second was his own face, taken extremely close, as if someone leaned over him with the phone inches away. And the third, the same picture of his bedroom from the first night, but now the figure was clearer. Standing at the foot of his bed, tall, skin gray, eyes completely black, smiling, and its hand was reaching toward him. Kevin didn't sleep the next night. He sat in the living room with all the lights on and every door locked. At 3:17 a.m., the exact same time as the first photo, his bedroom door upstairs slowly closed on its own. He didn't move. He didn't breathe. A moment later, his phone in his hand lit up. Camera on. Recording. But the camera wasn't facing him. It was facing the doorway behind him. He turned around slowly. There was nothing there, just darkness. But the phone showed something standing behind him, tall, gray, smiling, and it was getting closer. Kevin threw the phone and ran outside. He never went back to that house again. But here's the part police can't explain. When the officers searched the home, they found hundreds of photos in the phone's cloud backup, all taken between 3 and 4 a.m., all taken while he lived there, all of them of him sleeping. And in every single one, the figure was getting closer, night after night. Check your camera roll tonight, just in case. A couple, Julia and Mark, had a newborn daughter who kept crying at night. One night, at 2:41 a.m., the baby monitor came on by itself. Not with crying, not with movement, but with a voice. A deep, crackling voice saying, "She's awake." Julia froze. Mark checked the monitor. The crib was empty. Yet the voice repeated, "She's awake. Come get her." Mark sprinted to the nursery. Julia followed seconds after. When they opened the door, their daughter was sound asleep in her crib. No noise, no movement, nothing wrong. The baby monitor, however, still on, now picked up breathing. Long, slow, inhuman breathing. And it wasn't coming from the baby. At 3 a.m., just when they thought it was over, they heard something else through the monitor. A whisper. Slow, heavy, male. Don't leave her alone tonight. Mark grabbed his phone and checked the nursery camera. And that's when he saw it. A tall, pitch-black silhouette standing directly behind the nursery door, completely still, not moving, not breathing. But its head was slowly tilting toward the camera. The silhouette suddenly dropped down, not like a person falling, but like something that unhinged. It began crawling on all fours across the nursery floor. And it was fast, unnaturally fast, too fast for any human. Mark and Julia ran to the door, but when they opened it, nothing. The room was empty, silent, cold. The baby, sleeping. But the camera kept filming, and the silhouette was still crawling, but now on the ceiling. That night, Julia couldn't sleep. At 3:14 a.m., the monitor turned on again. The baby was asleep. The room was quiet until the same deep voice whispered, "I'm not here for her. I'm here for you. The camera then went dark, burnt out from the inside. The nursery was never used again. If your baby monitor ever turns on by itself, don't check the crib first. Check the ceiling. A group of roommates, 4 college students, were up late watching movies. Around 1:50 a.m., they heard knocking on their front door. Not normal knocking, not frantic knocking, but slow, calm, methodical. 3 knocks, pause, 3 knocks again. They looked through the peephole. Nothing, no one there. But the knocking continued. Then came the voice, a woman's voice, soft, muffled, sad. Please, let me in. I'm hurt. Open the door. They almost did, until one of them noticed something. The voice wasn't coming from outside. It was coming from under the door, as if the mouth was pressed to the floor. They turned off the lights and watched the bottom of the doors. A shadow appeared, not from outside, but from the inside of the house, like something was moving through their hallway. And then it happened. The shadow bent, completely sideways, head sliding across the floor, until an eye looked directly under the door crack. And the voice whispered, "I can see you." They heard scraping inside the walls, movement, fingers dragging, feet pulling. Something was crawling through the crawl space behind the plaster. The woman's voice followed it, moving from room to room. "Please open the door." But the voice wasn't sad anymore. It was hungry. At 3:03 a.m., the hallway light flickered. And for a split second, they saw it. A woman, or something shaped like one. Face stretched, jaw unhinged, neck too long, limbs bent backwards. Standing completely still, smiling. And then she ran at them. Not walking, not crawling, but sprinting in complete silence. They slammed the bedroom door, held it shut, her fingers clawed underneath. Long, gray, sharp. And she whispered, "I only need one of you." By sunrise, the scratching stopped. The voice vanished. The hallway was empty. But the crawl space, when police opened it, told the real story. Inside, they found human hair, claw marks, teeth marks, and a small piece of fabric from someone's dress. The roommates moved out in 24 hours. The landlord says the previous tenant went missing 3 years earlier and was never found. Some neighbors still report hearing knocking late at night. Always the same pattern. 3 knocks, pause, 3 knocks again. If you're still awake, good. Because tonight's stories weren't just meant to scare you. They were meant to warn you. Sometimes the camera sees what you don't. Sometimes the monitor hears what you can't. And sometimes the thing knocking at your door isn't human. Sleep well tonight, if you can.